It's Friday. We're less than a week away from Star Wars: The Rise of Soy Walker. And what are you gonna do about it?
What are you gonna do about it?
Probably stay home.
I've got no other movie to go to. Why don't you go see Cats? It scares me. Oh my goodness. And I've already seen Jumanji. No, I haven't personally. I'm just reacting.
That's the world we live in.
Welcome, folks, to Friday night at Midnight's Edge After Dark. Isn't that right, Rob?
Good morning.
No. It's nighttime.
I'm, of course, your narrator speaker, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo. With me, so it's Tom Connors.
Howdy, who?
Coming to you from Shabby Road Studios.
The shabbiest studios on the East Coast.
That's right. And joining us is I don't know if he's an actual doctor, but he is the script doctor.
I see him having the plastic proctology gloves, and he did say you have to stay after the show, Rob.
What kind of name is Food?
Elmer Food.
Is that German? Food? Well, anyway, he's here.
Quiet.
Script doctor Fud.
We're gonna give Wob a vasectomy.
Yes.
Well, thank
you,
script doctor.
Thank you very much for having me. This was a surprise and an honor, so I'm happy to meet all of you.
Well, I told you we'd have you on soon, did I not?
You did. I was not expecting it to be this soon, but I am grateful because you guys are quite entertaining on the YouTubes here.
Oh, and Fridays are even worse.
And
we generally are gearing up for shenanigans. We don't have that tonight, but we do have a mecha random here.
Yes, ladies and
gentlemen. Holy shit! You're blowing everybody's eardrums out, man.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's you, ma'am. I like that shirt, even though I haven't liked Metallica since the Black Album.
I haven't liked him since like Master Puppets, but I like the way it fits. So, is my audio super loud? I'm sorry.
No, he was loud. He had your music like blaring.
Well, he'll just need a clap for that.
An Emmy, an ESPY, a Tony, an Oscar. She's an Earl and an OBE, which makes her an earlobe. Miss Mecha Random.
And I'm exhausted because I was baking cookies all day yesterday.
For us.
And me.
Oh,
and me.
Me love cookies. Well, of course for you, but you know. We got to sound all like misogynistic. She's in there baking cookies for us mans.
For the men folk.
For the men folk, they need the cookies. And we don't know how to make cookies, so that's a woman's work.
It's so much easier to buy them. Oh my god.
I know, right? I just have Walmart make mine.
But here's the thing, though. I found like the best oatmeal raisin recipe. So.
What'd you say, Rob?
We got to go to You Need Pie. We have
to.
There's something running in your background or something. You keep getting blah 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 at the end.
Me?
Good internet.
My background.
Yeah, something's going on because you keep you're dodgy.
Hold on.
More than usual. Oh, so
let me pull this picture of this place. You Need Pie. This is what he's talking about.
You Need Pie.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the store?
Yeah, it's the name of the store.
Well, has Ethan Van Sciver ever been there?
I don't know.
Well, that sounds right up his alley.
That sounds good.
That's a plug for them. We didn't get anything for them, but if they want to send us some pies,
hey, I can just drive up and get them because I'm not too far.
There you go. Mecha will come pick them up.
They're next to the haunted hotel.
Otherwise, we do have a P.O. box to remind everybody. But yeah, Script Doctor is here with us, a new face to the show, but not a new face to the community. You've been here and there, and you have your own channel. You're doing your own thing, and I'm gonna share your link here in the chat so everybody can make sure they're subscribed to you. If I get that, if Rob wants to cover for a second for me, so I'm not typing in people's ears.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, anyone is more than welcome to subscribe. I don't turn people away.
Yeah, of course you can't.
There's that.
And then there's like just that hypocritical thing about being a doctor, of course.
Yeah, I cannot write prescriptions, unfortunately.
God damn it! That's what I had you on for. Never mind.
I can't perform operations. I just can't give you drugs.
Ah, Jesus. We're in trouble. All right, yeah, I'm getting your. Why am I can't find you on the YouTube thing? I'll find you.
Here, let me just. I'll just say hi in the chat, and then you can just.
That'll help. Yeah, he says hi in the chat, and then
you can go that way. It's far more entertaining.
Yeah, because for some reason, unless fucking YouTube unsubscribed me from you again, because I've noticed a few people they've unsubscribed me from in the last few days. It's been
going around. Yeah. Some of the channels I've been subscribed to, I still get the notifications, but I have to re-click that box.
And then I just made you a moderator so you can share links.
I'm guessing there's people that wish I would unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe to me. Imagine that. And I know I was subscribed because I was watching your shit the other day.
That is apt. That is a very apt description to my videos, actually.
No, I mean, you know what I meant.
I know what you mean.
I'm just pissed because YouTube's been doing that. And like I said, you're like the 4th or 5th channel I've noticed in the last few days that they have unsubscribed me from. So I'm kind of pissy about that. So yeah, do check out your favorite channels, folks, to make sure that you're still subscribed. And do subscribe to... Oops, I just saved the wrong thing.
So anyway, what's in the news tonight? We lost Tom. Send out a party for Tom, quick.
What's in the news? I have no idea. I've been offline for like 2 days. So
well,
apparently we're all a bunch of trolls, according to CNN, and they can kiss my ass.
Yes.
I'm so tired of being bullied by these news sites, corporations, company, all this crap. Because what? I said I didn't like a movie. Like I don't like a lot of things.
Like I always say, I have for just such an occasion. I have this soundbite loaded for CNN.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
So
there you go. That's all you need. All you need is love.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, Captain.
And porn. All you need is that was actually the original working title of All You Need Is Love. All you need is porn.
Is that when they used to jerk off in the same room in front of each other?
All you need.
Did you see that Beatles article I sent you?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I sent it to him. That's why.
I read so many people articles, so it's probably. I can't
well, anyway, we'll get to the CNN article, but first, I think we should talk about the whole Matrix thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
The Matrix 4 has been announced to drop the same day as John Wick 4. Now, that's not going to happen. And what I mean by that is one of them's going to move. And I'm pretty sure it's John Wick 4 because they have had no movement yet on that movie. So that tells me that Keanu's people know the movie's going to move, so they dropped that movie on that day. So expect to hear that John Wick 4 probably will be pushed back a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that in my opinion, that might be kind of tricky because although John Wick's the more current one, so it might be a bit more popular. It depends on how the marketing is for the Matrix 4 goes. Because it's supposed to be both of them are April 2021, right?
Yeah, but one of them's going to move.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and the only one that has had like no real movement on it yet is John Wick 4. And the few people I've talked to, they all kind of agree with that, unless you know something else. But
well, all I know is that the Wachowskis' involvement with the Matrix 4 is kind of very close to the chest. but I would suspect that they would probably want more of a slightly little closer to the summer release for it if it's going to be like an event film or a tentpole film.
Mm.
I don't know if they want it. It depends. That would be right after Shang-Chi comes out in February of that year, right? So it wouldn't interfere or compete with Marvel. And I don't know of any May release of Marvel off the top of my head for 2021. So I would expect that if anything were to move, it would be to that next month, just 4 weeks out.
Do you think anyone's going to go see Shang-Chi? Not to get too far off topic, but
it depends on that first trailer, really. I'm crossing my fingers that the main character Shang-Chi himself does not become a second fiddle in his titled movie, but I suspect Disney is really hoping for a Black Panther effect with this film.
Yeah, they can hope for that, but
yeah, well.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, it's one of the things actually that I love reading was that one of the reasons the Chinese didn't go see The Last Jedi was that they felt the cast was too ugly. We want to see beautiful people like Angelina Jolie and Will Smith, not a bunch of ugly no name.
Yeah. So like I said, from what I've been hearing, there's less movement, or they're not as far ahead on John Wick 4. So I'm sure they worked it out between. And what this is telling me is that the people behind the Matrix already know something that Lionsgate hasn't announced yet, and that is John Wick 4 is just going to get pushed. Whether it's by a month, 6 months, a year, I have no idea. That I can't comment on. And I wouldn't know, but I'm just guessing that's what's going to happen. Is we're going to hear in about a week that John Wick 4 has been pushed. Is all.
Mm-hmm. Am I the only person who hasn't, in among us, hasn't seen John Wick?
I've only seen the first one.
Well, even still, Rob hasn't seen that.
You'd probably like it, Rob.
Yeah, you would.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. I probably would.
You'd probably love it.
That's right.
Second and third one, I don't know. I like the second and third one, but I'm in that league of each movie gets farther and farther away from reality to where, like, by the time you get to the third movie, it's starting to feel like a video game. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I still love the franchise. Now, Matrix, who the fuck asked for the Matrix? No one wants one. No one asked for it. No one needs one. The Wachowskis are like yesterday's fucking news. I'm surprised that they're even allowing this to happen. To the point where it's like,
well, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, they just went to some executive and said, "Hey, Keanu's really popular, and we've got him back. So, hey, give us money."
Well, the Wachowski, between that and the Wachowskis must have some kind of attachment to the Matrix, to where they can't make one without them, maybe, because all I could see is if Warner Brothers going forward with a Matrix reboot or sequel, but not with the Wachowskis involved. You know, and I think it's just one Wachowski at that involved. I don't know what you know about it, Script Doctor, but
I'm not sure about that either. Because there was some rumors years ago, right around the time the Wachowskis had their Netflix special or series, and they were being asked would they ever do another Matrix, and from what I remember, they said that they thought that this story kind of ended, that they didn't want to try something new. But now, since the franchise and themselves have been kind of getting into Hollywood obscurity, I think they kind of have another project they want to do and are going to be putting up the Matrix franchise as collateral in order to get that other project done.
Well, we'll see. I don't think anybody's going to go see this new Matrix movie, Keanu or not. I mean, I don't think it's enough to get people's butts back in the seats.
The Matrix doesn't strike me as sort of I don't want to say it as an evergreen kind of thing, but it doesn't. It just seems like there's not a whole lot of appeal to it.
Once you get past the gimmick of the first film, that's the problem. Is after that the thrill is gone. It's a lot like the Terminator in that sense. The only reason Terminator 2 worked is because it's the same damn movie all over again. And Cameron was smart enough and clever enough and did things with the characters and the settings to make us feel like it's a fresh new movie, when really it's almost the exact same script. I mean, and that was like just towing the line to where you could just barely get away with something like that. As to now, oh, we got Yellow Flash in the chat. He can come in the show. I didn't know he was around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the I'll send you the link here. Hang on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know what I'm getting at, guys. But I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, this is just the Matrix to me is almost kind of like one of those series where either, I mean, I suppose you could get away with a television series. I did say that earlier. Is like, I could see them maybe just doing like a spin-off series or something like that instead. That might have been a better idea. I don't know what you guys think, but I have no real desire to see. I mean, yeah, I mean, once the gimmicks kind of wore off, it's like, whatever. It's just a bunch of sci-fi garbage thrown at you.
Yeah, if they open the same day, I'm seeing John Wick 4 because I really don't care about another Matrix movie. It's like 2 and 3 were not that great. People kind of forget that. Oh, and we got an Umbrella Guy.
Oh, we got
too.
him. I'll send him a link.
We got All Star.
Hey, yeah, both of them. Good friends of the channel. So, and I don't think we've had Yellow Flash on here yet, so we definitely got to get him on here. And I'll send you one to an Umbrella Guy if you're not busy.
Yeah, the thing about the Matrix, it was just a rehash of like, which wasn't it just so inspired by anime style and visuals anyway, and that was why it was so groundbreaking. And
totally read that in an Umbrella Guy's voice. Hey there.
Hey there.
I love his voice.
I know. We have those like the greatest YouTube channels out here. So
Rob, if you're ever worried about somebody stealing your voice, that's probably him. I'd be like, well, if we got to get rid of Rob, the only buddy who could replace him is the Umbrella Guy.
Or Mahler.
Ew, what the hell?
Mahler could replace Andre if we had to.
I know.
I would never think of that. No. But I mean, if we needed a voice stand-in or something like that, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, no, I'm just picking on you, Rob. Of course, we couldn't replace Rob. He's irreplaceable.
Yes, you couldn't. Yes, that's right. You couldn't replace me.
Nobody could give us as much problems as you do.
Besides, I know where the bodies are buried.
Ah, shit.
Not it.
Yep, I missed it. Here's Flash. Hey, how you doing there, Yellow Flash?
Hey there.
He's doing his best, Umbrella Guy, too.
I think he's coming. Did you send him a link?
Yeah, he's going to pop in for a bit.
We were just bullshitting on Discord and saw you were on.
Yellow Flash, you don't want to say that too enthusiastically now, do you?
What's up?
Don't say that. Don't get too comfortable. Or else.
He just says that because I watch more of you guys' videos than I do his.
He's jealous.
Say that again, Mecca.
Domestic violence.
Yeah. They're all blanks. It's kind of like, you ever seen the movie Multiplicity?
Yeah.
You know when they give the fourth one the razor, they're like, we don't actually put a razor in there. That's kind of like Rob. We don't actually give him bullets.
No, he used them.
Someone said one time, well, you want to lay off the sound effects because we just lost 5 people in the audience. I said, oh yeah. We just lost 5 more.
People have learned quicker than Hollywood that if they don't bother Rob about the sound effects, they'll go away after a while, or he'll just use them when they're appropriate. So
that's right. That's right, Tom. Or else you'll go away.
He's like a kid. Tell him to stop playing with that thing, and he's going to do it constantly. Don't push the button. He'll push it all the time.
So yeah, Yellow Flash, up and coming star
Did you lick
of the
mine?
YouTubes.
Oh.
How you doing, sir?
Doing good. How you guys doing? I just came in and then you sent me a
Sorry,
link.
I didn't mean to assume your gender.
Yellow Flash.
Yeah, you got to watch out with that. You get banned on Twitter doing that.
That's right, and YouTube now.
Yellow Flash is saying this is the last time I come on this show.
No shit, right? So did you see this? Yeah, we were talking about the Matrix and John Wick, and I think we're kind of past that now. We're getting into the Star Wars bombardment of news. Did you see this freaking CNN article?
I was just about to look it up. Every day, man. I mean, I can do a Star Wars video every day right now because every day there's just 13, 14 articles dropping that are just cringe.
Well, it's been interesting because we've actually seen a lot of the mainstream media kind of turn on The Last Jedi and Kathleen Kennedy, and
I feel like they've been defending Last Jedi.
There is some, and that's what the CNN article comes into play. But there has been, like, you look at the big ones that really matter, like for like investors and stuff like Bloomberg and Forbes and there he is. He's not going to say it.
Hey, how's it going? It took me a minute I kept misspelling Santa. I kept typing Satan, you know?
Is that a man who has a rad? Could he possibly be?
Tug gets the best fan art. I get no fan art. I'm jealous of the fan art.
Yeah, man. I get pops and like just like figures made and all kinds of stuff. I love it, man. It's awesome. When you launch a comic, dude, you'll get one.
I was listening to stuff like when you first kind of got going and you only had like, I don't know, maybe a couple thousand subscribers. Your voice, it just draws you. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It's just, yep, I'm listening.
Do we have to tell Gary's beard you're cheating on it with Umbrella Guy's
yes,
voice?
and I'm totally like 100% straight. Ask Rob.
I picture like that Umbrella Guy doing play-by-play for a minor league baseball team. And at the end of 2, it's the Charleston River Dogs 2 and the Greensboro Bats 1. You know,
she started out reading stock reports, and for this quarter,
Apple up 2.5. Yeah.
Are they going after the racist, sexist trolls again?
Yes, they are. They're doubling down.
All one of them.
Oh God! And they go through the greatest hits in this article. Have you seen this, Umbrella Guy?
Yeah.
I was gonna hit it tomorrow.
Well, this stuff, you've already seen, that this movie is going to be a spectacular trash fire when they drag out, they don't just go through the narrative, but they drag out Kelly Marie Tran. They've already created another Kelly Marie Tran. I mean, it's, they're covering every basis.
Did you guys see the Burger King thing? That was great.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday with
Andre. Sword Lady is the granddaughter of Hooded Evil Man.
Yeah, Andre did translate a few of them, and then after our show we did yesterday afternoon where he was talking about it, somebody went in the chat or the comments and actually translated all of them, and that was one of them that you just said. Yeah, so they're hilarious, and it's like this is just getting worse and worse for them and better for us, because it's like I've gotten to the point where I'm actually kind of excited to see this. I didn't care after The Last Jedi, and Solo was a train wreck, and this is turning into a Kelly Marie train wreck.
I can't wait. I got tickets. I got tickets for 7 p.m. December 19th. Picked them out early. I'm like right in the middle. Like I have like the best seats in the house.
We're now at the point where we're just saying, could it really be this bad?
Yes.
I'm hoping.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I'm hoping.
But here's the thing. I don't think it's good. So like Last Jedi was bad because of all the agenda shit. This is going to be bad because it's literally a train wreck.
Well, they're trying to fix. See, I mean, you have J.J. Abrams who cannot. I hate his movies. I mean, he has no creativity with him. It's all again lens flare and reproduction. And
then he's going to be sticking lens flare up Superman's ass pretty soon.
That'll be fun. He'll be like a light bright. That'll be awesome, man. He'll be lighting up like a glowworm.
Can I swear in here? I didn't even.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're never monetized. We get demonetized.
No, I mean, you have him trying to fix the problems with the last movie, and he doesn't know how.
Oh, no. And that's the thing is they're going to JJ to fix it. The last guy you should have went to because he's never finished anything in his life. I've said it time and time again. I feel sorry for his wife. Except for she's one of the ones who's behind the Me Too movement, but still, that's probably why she's never had an orgasm in her life.
There you go.
Well, that would be more her not being finished.
I said probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Imagine if they make homemade porn and you think he puts like lens flare all over.
There's gonna be a lot of lens flare.
He does a lot of directing.
That Umbrella Guy and Flash, are either of you fans of the sitcom Community?
Community? Yeah, I like
the Community College when it was early.
Yeah.
I like before Chevy Chase left, it was good.
Do you remember the Christmas special from season 2?
You have to tell me about the plot.
When they were all stop motion animated, and Abed was looking for the meaning of Christmas, and he finds it.
It's been a long time since I watched it.
He finds. I just watched it again last night. He finds the meaning of Christmas in Santa's workshop, and he unwraps it. It's a quote unquote, it's a mystery box, and he unwraps it and he opens it, and it's the first season of Lost on DVD. That's the meaning of Christmas? No, it's a metaphor. It represents lack of payoff.
I never got into The Lost. I thought it sucked. I was like the only one, and everyone was looking at me like I'm crazy at the time. Like,
neither did I.
Slow.
I seen it as for the gimmick it was to begin with.
But
some monster was like always howling in the woods, and they were running from it. Like, the fuck is this?
But there's no better metaphor though to lack of payoff than that. I mean, and like I said, how fitting it's Lost that's in the mystery box. It represents lack of payoff. This is going to be such an anticlimactic shit show that they're going to write books about this for years. And if anyone is going to be left defending this movie or Last Jedi, or even just Kathleen Kennedy as a whole, I'm going to say you are living in a delusion that is so magnificently structured that my hat is off to you, because there's just no defending this anymore.
Well, it's going to be like 92% fresh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, because the critics are going to suck its dick, yes, because the critics are a lot like CNN and a few of these other places where they're too woke for their own good, and they can't see past their own noses as far as like you guys said. Just to get back into this article, and I forgot, I didn't introduce Script Doctor to Tug or Yellow Flash.
No, that's okay.
I think you guys have ever met before, obviously, so I hate being rude like that.
That's fine. I'm enjoying it.
I said, actually, I guarantee you that CNN gives Bob Iger a ton of free airtime when he runs for president. And that's probably the impetus behind them doing a puff piece like this.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say he was going to run for president?
Well, he's making the case to run for president.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, you know this is going to be a shit show because of two things. We have Daisy Ridley coming out and telling us it's going to take multiple viewings to understand her character. From going from I saw somebody post about this, and I thought it made a lot of sense. With, when you have the first of the trilogy, it was, hey, just watch it, you'll understand. Second one, oh well, you need to pay a little more attention. Now you have to watch it 2 or 3 times, and then you have Naomi Ackie coming out and telling us that this will divide audiences. Those two statements, they tell me it's going to be a shit show.
Well, yeah.
Monday Matt's going to love this movie.
Yeah, he will.
Somebody said that.
I was literally just typing in the comments. I am going to say LOL, but I can't say who to. So
is Sean McMullen. He said Monday and Matt Miller. I don't know who Matt Miller is.
Matt Miller's he's the Esquire writer who likes to forget that women exist.
Yes, he is referenced in this article, which is really ironic because earlier today, Ichi Baka, who's a good friend of the Phantom Menace and does a lot of the research and footwork for a lot of us here behind the scenes and helps us out, not just us, but every one of the channels that he's associated with.
Like Ichi Baka.
Yeah, he put one of the articles up. He was talking about this Matt guy earlier today, and I followed this rabbit hole through all these articles because he referenced him, so on down the line. And the ironic thing is this Matt guy was talking about all the harassment and death threats that he was getting, but didn't post one example. Not one example.
Oh, I have screenshots of mine. And I know
that's what I'm saying. If this happens to somebody, normally they have screenshots to back it up. And other things like that. Same thing with the Kelly Marie Tran thing. They're going with that same narrative. And then, what was it, the day before?
I have screenshots to back up that never happened as well. And I found the exact person who started the marketing campaign. And he's a little Twitter impression specialist. And I can tell you exactly who he is on LinkedIn if people want to know. But, no, that's not the narrative. That's not what people want to run with. They want to run with this girl who's bullied off of social media, even though when you ask her the direct question, she avoids answering and talks about how, no, she went to therapy for going into...
Do you have that interview, Mecca?
Yeah. It's on my video. I don't have it specifically. It was on USA Today a couple of days ago. But
yeah, okay. I was going to say we're referencing it, but she was on this interview and they actually bring it up. She does kind of say to that when they talk about the harassment, but then she kind of just looks away and she trails off into exactly what she put in her op-ed, which was about the expectation that Hollywood has for women. Nothing about harassment, nothing about fans. And then the fans she does talk about are all positive interactions. She doesn't say anything about any negative interactions.
Well,
she talks about going to therapy, and they're alluding to it's because of the quote-unquote harassment. Oh, no, she basically flat out says she went to therapy because she was dealing with this idealism they have in Hollywood, and that she had to live up to it, and et cetera, and so on down the road.
Well, it works so well with Ghostbusters 2016, though. This is when you see smaller cases of this popping up, but when you see a movie that gets a huge amount of backlash, and then you have the narrative bullied off. I mean, that really became the go-to narrative right after that movie, and then it keeps popping up again and again and again, and it works. I mean, when you have the people that they're talking to are a crowd that utilizes something like Facebook. If you're talking about just, normies out there, people who don't use social media that much. Ooh, a cat picture. That's so nice. Well, it makes it sound like, a hellscape. And I guess Twitter is a hellscape. It's just kind of the opposite people that are doing this stuff. But yeah, they tell those people. And then of course the people that want to attack, whatever you call fandom menace or comics, anybody out there, they now have a reason to attack too. So you silence that. They do corporations work. It's a beautiful setup for companies out there.
Thank you so much, Michael Clark, for a $3.99 super chat. Just enjoying the content. I hope everybody out there is, and if you are, of course, hit that like button. But yeah, that's exactly it. And, it's like this whole Kelly Marie Tran thing really has me about. And then they go
here it is. Here it is.
Okay, let's do that. I didn't want to change the subject until we got this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get this here up here.
Yeah, Data Racer pulled this up. He's another one who's like just one of our behind the scenes amazing.
Oh, he's amazing.
He finds the best stuff.
Yes, absolutely. We can never. Okay, let me share this here. Was it right in the beginning of it, or did he clip this out? Or
yeah, it's pretty close to the beginning. It's like it's like the second thing they ask her.
Yeah, I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Well, no, as long as you just like pause it and then talk over it for a bit.
Last year, you were unfortunately dealing with the negative side of social media, which so many of us have encountered. But you opened up about dealing with online harassment, and it was incredibly empowering. How are you feeling now about all of that?
I feel great now. I've been to therapy.
You went to therapy.
Highly recommend.
Because of the bullying on
and also just like the transition of what it was like. I very much was someone.
Also the transition of what was like.
Struggling to be an actor, and then.
That doesn't sound to me like she went to therapy for being bullied off of social media.
Well, she's being led by this.
Specifically that she went to therapy because she transitioned from being a normal person with a day job into being a celebrity who automatically has all this attention. And you know what? Fine for her if through therapy she has found that the whole reason she was quote unquote bullied allegedly was because she was all of a sudden a celebrity. What about the rest of us who aren't? What about the rest of us?
I always thought she was I always thought she was fat after watching Last Jedi. And then
that's how they made her.
They made her look like fat in that movie.
You bring that up because Mecca and Rob keep getting quoted by several of these people. Even within certain other groups, by saying that they were fat shaming Kelly Marie Tran, where if you take the actual words they were talking about in context with stuff around it, they simply say, "Oh, she's a beautiful girl," but the clothes they put her in made her look fat. And then they start quoting what Rob and Mecca were joking about afterwards, where it was in response to the fact that they made her look fat. She is not.
Who's quoting that? Twitter trolls or
some of these Twitter accounts. Some of these guys, there's like some
don't pay. I wouldn't pay them any attention.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain other people that are like within the menace to a point.
And they're that's the problem is that like they organize this narrative and then they go around flagging, and I know you guys have been aware of the flagging that people go through too.
Oh yeah, been there too.
That's just one of the things that they want to do. They want to come in and they want to shut you up, and they want to. So they're trying to push this message of, oh, Mecca is body shaming. Mecca is this. Mecca is that. Mecca is not a good critic because she's not from Hollywood, and that's the next thing. It's like, well, you just complain because you don't like me is what the problem is. I have all of these, all of these I guess Mecca haters that are either outside of the fandom menace or anti-fandom menace, or people who just burned all their bridges with fandom menace at this point.
How come they never quote China? Because there was a bunch of Chinese people that said she was ugly.
Yeah, Rob was just talking about that.
Did you know that? Like the moviegoers were like, "Oh, I like pretty Asian girl."
Well, that was sprung off the whole thing that they don't want to go see people that are Asian in movies. They don't go to movies to see, they want to see big Hollywood movies to see Will Smith and
we want to see the Hollywood
Angelina
movie
Jolie
stars.
and shit like that. They don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see the pretty, like the ideal type. And that's the other thing she talks about is she gets to Hollywood, and because her parents have shamed her all of her life about her name and kind of got in her head that she's less than because she's Asian, right? And she needs to be ashamed of that. And her parents are, I think, probably the biggest victim or the biggest problem in her life on this one. And then she comes to Hollywood expecting to be the next, Scarlett Johansson or Jennifer Aniston or somebody, and she's not. She's a petite woman with a facial feature or with a facial structure, I guess, that isn't the most slender, even though she's a very thin, petite woman, and she's not the right height and body type and size and
Sounds like Adam Driver.
Oh God, he's hideous. He's hideous.
Testicles are amazing.
How come no one ever brings that up? By the way, because a lot of people call him ugly, and he is ugly.
I mean, he's got an unconventional look to him. That was just me being kind.
No, he's butt fugly. I wouldn't fuck him with a stolen one. And
he's
this is
called hipster pretty.
Yeah,
you're not a Raylo.
I look like Jim Morrison and Harrison Ford had a love baby.
Yeah, but Jim Morrison was kind of attractive.
I understand.
I get you.
I get you. You're all
you wanna get me my rent next month. Get me a soda out of the fridge.
I know what I have to do.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I can do it.
Rosetta that sounds like a you problem.
Help me, grandfather.
Yeah. Sent us $2. Love you guys tons. And we love you, Rosetta. She's having a birthday bash Monday, so do check that out.
You know how people always say, I want to see someone who looks like me on screen. We're finding out that people
want representation.
Who says this, though, other than the few select people who
I want to see myself in the character. I can't enjoy it unless I see myself there.
And I always say, are you that much of a narcissist that you have to see yourself on screen? Apparently. And we're finding out the majority of people are way too ugly to be in movies.
Not just that. These people are way too shitty to be likable by most people.
It's a personality that makes them ugly more than anything.
That's what burned down comic books. I mean, I don't want to see it in every other thing because that absolutely, set a fire on comic books. You see these people reflected in a character. They're not heroes. That's for damn sure.
Well, and to go off of what Tug's saying here a little bit, and you may be able to speak to this a little bit, I think a lot of these people don't really stop to remember that what movies are for, from a psychological point of view, is for you to be able to relate to somebody you normally wouldn't. It's for you to be able to live through somebody else's eyes and live in their shoes, even if it is just for 2 hours and it's, fake in most instances. You're supposed to find something to relate to a character. We love Johnny Five because he's alive, but he's a fucking robot. I'm not a robot.
That's also the thing, when they love the word representation. They forget the one word that should come before that: positive representation.
Right.
I've actually gotten to a few Twitter beefs with that. Oh, well, it's important for representation. I said, so it's more important for you to be represented in a bad movie that nobody's going to like. Really? You don't think that's more harmful? Oh, well, it's some bullshit answer.
These are the same dipshits that want to rewrite history, though. I listen to them.
Oh, God.
If you have something like that, they were, God, what is that? That AMC movie that's set in I'm trying to think of it now. It's anyway, it's a historical movie, right? And these people complain about historical movies not having representation. Well, guess what? Maybe there wasn't any representation then. Maybe that is true to the.
Where's the black guy in Rome?
Yeah, let's throw a black guy in here where he doesn't belong. And that doesn't
make Plato black. Damn it.
Why are there no black soldiers in Saving Private Ryan? Because the
Chernobyl.
Right, yeah, I was just gonna say that. Remember that when that came out, everybody was making a fit. It's like there wasn't anybody there, but
yeah, I mean, Eastern Russia, there were plenty of fucking, Eastern Ukraine, I remember all those black guys living out there.
I always say about people say, "Oh, why can't there be a black James Bond?" I said, "Well, first of all, because it's a character, not it's a guy, not a code name. Second, if you're going to be a spy in Russia, you're going to want to maintain a low profile. How do you maintain a low profile as a black man?" And they made a joke about this in Archer too. As a black man in a country of 140 million people, when there's only 40,000 Afro-Russians, and I always say, what's that going to look like? Men, we have word that there's a MI6 agent here in Moscow. He's carrying state secrets. He's very dangerous. We have orders to shoot on sight. Are there any questions? Yeah, you in the back. Yes, sir. How do we know? How do we know what he looks like? Just look for the black guy. Just come on. That joke never goes.
Just look for the Asian chick.
But it's like
that's what they're gonna do. They would make like Bond an Asian woman or a transgender person if they could. Now, Script Doctor, from your perspective, kind of on the inside out, what do you run into when it comes to this kind of gender politics bullshit?
Well, I run into it pretty rare. It's usually by like low-level tier execs. Often in the case, I'm going to try not to be too loud because I saw that earlier.
No, you're fine now, I think.
Okay, great. But often what is the case is that you'll pitch a story. Doesn't even matter who the main character is, but they'll come back with a question of why does this have to be made now? And it's a question that not a whole lot of writers, at least experienced ones, really have a great answer for, because our entire objective is to make the movie or the story as timeless as possible. So when you try to conform it to something that's today, especially with gender politics or identity politics or gender bending, swapping, transgenderism, any of those types of characters, it just it dates the product. And the entire concept for a writer is that we make money off of like royalties when the stuff gets purchased and re-shown. So we're always put into a weird bind when we're asked those types of questions. And then it's either we conform to it so we get the job and sell the product, and then pretty much say goodbye to making any money off that in the future because no one's going to watch it for those things. Or we bite the bullet and say, okay, I'm going to have to pass and move on to something else. And because that's the case, a lot of great stories aren't being made, and those that start off great are being manipulated into the stuff that the public has deemed woke. And it's a really, really tough balancing act, because if you can skip that first two tiers in a studio and just present a really great script, they don't care who the main character is. Like in the description of the script, they don't care if it's black, white, Asian, Native American, African, anything. They just want a really great story. And it's only when some other people who are, say, smaller production offices that put in money, they might have their own agenda that they want to insert in. And in order to negotiate to get those funds, they will acquiesce to some other demands.
Right. And
that's why you get a lot of reshoots. That's why you get a lot of late casting announcements with regards to some movies. And it's a mess. It's been cleaning up a little bit over the last at tail end of the summer, but I don't know what's going to happen next year.
Well, I got to imagine after like Terminator and a few other high profile, flops they've had mainly surrounding this agenda, basically.
Well, and that's sounds no different.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mecca.
Oh no, I was just saying this sounds no different than like what was really killing a lot of the comedy, especially parody comedy, when they started really inserting a lot of topical like Honey Boo Boo jokes and shit. Really dating their stuff, because like I can still watch Airplane. And going back and listening to the Airplane commentaries, they're like, oh, we were trying to keep it as not dated as possible. And damn it, there's still these giant 1970s, collars that are floating around the cabin and all of these things. And that's one of the things that really, really stood out to me when comedy was kind of dying. And now with science fiction and everything else, they're more concerned about getting out this current trend, instant, you tweet about it for a day, sort of event deal, and then they go on to the next disposable piece of McDonald's entertainment.
Well, and they like to blame us, and then the Twitterati like to blame us for not going to see a movie. It's like, well, where were you? You weren't there opening day.
I'm not obligated to watch anything. That's the thing.
Mecca has a shirt that says that. Movies are not mandatory. and Andre pointed out the ironic thing about Charlie's Angels was You know, they were bitching that guys needed to go see this movie. Well, guess what? Women didn't go see the movie either. He did the math. He did the movie.
Would a guy want to go see that? What was Kristen Dunst? Is that who it was? What's the name of that
Kristen
chick?
Stewart.
She looked like Eminem running around. Like, I don't want to see that. Like,
there was
the
so
first
many
one
Justin
had
Bieber jokes. Yes.
well, the first one had Cameron Diaz running around in her panties, like
Barrymore,
dancing.
yeah.
This is like, you know, men of pigs. Watch my movie. I don't want to see this.
Well,
first off, Charlie's Angels isn't even that interesting of a friend. It was like what 70s.
Yeah,
70s
late
TV
70s.
show. I don't give a shit about that show.
Well, the
It's not
show.
meant to be interesting. This
is the woke version. Okay, well, I'm not interested. I mean, they ran around for a whole year advertising that movie as the woke one. Cool. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. You can lose your money any way you see fit. I'm happy you want to be representative over having some quality. You can do both. Maybe try that next time.
Well, that's actually a big issue.
Where have we gotten to the point though where, you know, you and I, any of us, we just pick up a microphone and we mock shit. Okay. I mean, I love making fun of stuff. When have we gotten to the point where that makes us the bad guy, number one? And number two, if I can impact a movie's ability to make that much money, then maybe you got a bigger problem than you think.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And we're bullies. We're big bullies. And to finish my point from before, Andre did the math. More women went to see Rambo opening weekend than went to see Charlie's Angels. Period.
Well, yeah, you got Sylvester Stallone in there.
Well, it's not only that.
I'd rather like a 90-year-old man run around than 3 women.
Well, it's not only that, but say, yeah, go right ahead. Sorry, Rob. I'm just trying to balance out here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I mean, but you're as a guy who's sort of on the inside, you know, do they honestly think that there's enough of these blue check marks on Twitter to be able to sell a movie to? Because that's who they're appealing to. It seems like, and there's a thing about, oh well, you're talking about it, but at the end of the day, they don't show up. And it's been proven that they don't show up. And it just seems like so much of the entertainment is being geared towards the blue check marks. Do they really perceive that the Twitterati and the blue check marks on Twitter and everything as this powerful force in Hollywood? Because the opposite seems to be true.
Not from my perspective. In fact, I've never been in a pitch meeting or been able to eavesdrop on meetings where they talk about Twitter at all, especially with blue check marks. What they usually try to do is they just try to go on to the greater masses. And I guess it's the followers of those blue check marks that are making the like repeating the parroted or just parroting the talking points. But the other part too, and it's the biggest discussion that they have, and it's that, okay, if we're going to put in X agenda, how do we make these characters appealable? Or sorry, how do we make these characters appeal to the most people they can? And there's always a back and forth between the actor that's playing the role, between the director that's trying just to get the shot just right and the performance out of them, and the writer trying to reconcile both of those things, because sometimes the actors have their own little statement that they want to put in there. And the writers are going nuts because we're trying to figure out, like, how can we create that timeless agenda concept, which has been in stories since, you know, governments tried to censor ideas, to work in this new medium, in this new way. And they don't get the time to really sort of make it a blind message, as opposed to what they're used to. They have to like hit you over the head with it because they just don't have the time, because schedules are locked. Studios are scheduling their movies 3-4 years out, and they have to have that weekend, and you don't get enough time as a writer to reconcile the politics with the entertainment to just make it look more like entertainment.
You know, one of the things actually of Mary Sue, this is
the one where we were just talking. They don't watch the movies. This is from Mary Sue article from, which one's this? Princess Weeks, March 19th. About the LGBT Captain Marvel Valkyrie shit. Confession time. I have yet to see Captain Marvel. I'm a bad feminist, but also, to be quite frank, it's not just a character I'm interested in. Shut up then. I mean, why are you talking about it and being all unsupportive?
They just prove their hip hop.
Princess Weeks wrote it.
Princess Weeks. Yeah, you know, Princess Weeks is the same one that just dumped on that new Clint Eastwood movie, right? And the same thing. Confession time. I didn't watch this movie.
It's a good fucking movie.
We
You know,
She,
the thing that
None of
companies
them
need to-
watch any of these movies. They just want to take it over and shit on it. They don't care.
Becca and I actually had a great time though, ripping on all the feminists and the Mary Sue for when Ford versus Ferrari came out, because we just turned Brie Larson's thing about right around on them. I don't need to hear what some 27-year-old white girl thinks about Ford versus Ferrari. It wasn't made for you. Ain't that right, girlfriend? You know, it's just
Yeah, a lot of people are very upset when Brie Larson said that in Hollywood.
they were
Because Hollywood is like, we don't want to exclude an audience. And
well, that's exactly what I was saying at the outset of this. Is like, isn't that the whole point of a movie or a show or whatever? Is it may not necessarily be the character on screen may not be the same color, size, sex as you are, but you're supposed to still be able to try and relate with that person by making them relatable and likable. Just like I brought up Short Circuit, Johnny Five. He's not even human. He's a robot.
I relate more to Garrick on Deep Space Nine, and he's an old gay lizard, bisexual lizard.
Tom Yaffet on the Orville, a green gelatinous blob.
And you give a shit about his plight with what's her face
with Claire,
with Claire, yeah.
You brought up Twitter and this stuff too. The problem companies need to understand are that likes and retweets and all that are free. You know, we saw Universal FanCon. It was supposed to be the biggest thing out there. It had hundreds of thousands of likes and shares because it was, it's supposed to succeed. Well, these people, they managed to sell 67 tickets to that convention. Out of, again, hundreds of thousands. If you're looking at that on advertisements, these people don't look at what the actual ratio is to spending. If you just look at advertisements, the click-through rate on stuff is about 0.68%. And then you get about 0.1% on top of that as a buy-through rate. So you get 0.1% of 0.68% actually buying something. And that's if they can push two buttons and go buy it on the computer. Now, if they have to get off their ass and actually go support something, that ain't going to happen very often.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple super chats here, actually. Rosetta Allen, $2. I want eye candy on the screen. Drool factor 11. Oh, okay. So do I.
Well, she's just kind of getting to the point we were saying earlier, like you were saying about the China thing. That was from a while ago, where they don't want to see, people they can relate to necessarily by looks and sex and whatever. They want to see,
China has its own film industry. That's the thing.
Yeah, so they don't want to see the same thing they always see. They want to see something different. And we got another super chat.
Nelson Chiretta, $5 super chat. I'm a white man. It is 100% fine for you to make a movie that is not for me, but then don't turn around and cry when I won't give you my money. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And like I said, it shouldn't matter what the movie's about. If it's a good movie,
I like Black
everyone
Panther.
will relate to it. Yeah.
I thought Black Panther. I do think that was one of the better Marvel movies because it had a good, interesting villain, which a lot of them don't have, to be honest.
I watched Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood as a kid, and I related to it even though I'm not black and didn't grow up in, in the hood, for fuck's sake. It's...
Actually, that's a very good point. The 90s and the aughts, that was the marketing approach until this social media boom and, woke and cancel culture comes along with it. You did have this idea, again, about positive representation. You can go in and it doesn't matter what I as the viewer look like. I should be able to look at any place in history, anytime. And if it's a good movie, I should be able to enjoy it, period. It doesn't matter what the fuck I look like.
Exactly.
That's what Hollywood wants. I mean, their back catalog, they love selling that. I remember like when I first got lucky enough to go to LA and start working, Paramount Studios was talking about how great it is that all their old movies still sell today, or at least that was like 2005. And every time I wander around and get new jobs out there, and I always bring up like, what about your back catalog? How much do you love your back catalog? And they're like, we love it. It's great that we still sell tons of stuff all the time. The new digital market, when that came out, they were like selling all their digital copies, and they're scrambling just to get everything up to par and available for their audiences, because they love the fact that it's technically free money. And they also love the fact that people still watch the old stuff because it's like they're still selling product. They want that. But today, at least I would say the last 10 years of movies are not the ones you really want to rewatch. that have come out. It's really strange.
And I also bring that point up too when it comes to remakes and reboots all the time, that
it's because they're creatively bankrupt.
Well, not just that, but the problem with it is, and why they don't work nowadays, is because most of us here are in that last generation that didn't have a VCR in the home or a home media. HBO was a brand new thing for most of us when we were kids. So we were the first generation to really kind of grow up with the idea that you could rewatch a movie over and over and over again. So we grew up loving and sharing and passing on movies like Star Wars and Ghostbusters and all this other shit, that once you start messing with those things, it's really going to affect the zeitgeist out there. And yeah, there's going to be people like, oh, you're just old boomers who don't want us to change anything. It's like, no. There's a reason nobody remade The Wizard of Oz for fucking this many years now. There's a reason nobody has touched Citizen Kane. You know what I mean? There's a reason why these things are done. And there's a reason Gus Van Sant remade Psycho shot for shot, and it's been long enough out that he's been able to admit the reason he did it is so nobody else would come in and ruin Psycho by putting their own spin on it. He made it so bad and flop on purpose so nobody would mess with it again.
Well, that's kind of like one of the unwritten rules of Hollywood, which is you don't remake a great movie. If you find a bad movie, like from 30 years ago, then you remake it, because it's like, well, at least we have a shot of making this concept great. That's what we got with The Thing from John Carpenter. That original movie was okay, but he knocked it out of the park.
The Fly is another one. And they had a chance with Willard. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie Willard, about the guy who can control rats or whatever. They remade that with Crispin Glover, and the original cut of that is a pitch perfect, amazing remake of that movie that was, it was a good idea, but it was tonally off in the original film. And at the time it was pretty popular that it spawned a sequel that was mostly popular because of the Michael Jackson single that went along with it, Ben. But point being, when they first did that remake, it was amazing, and then they cut it down because of the test audience that didn't understand the movie and ruined it. It's like you had an opportunity that nobody knows that movie. Hardly anybody has ever heard of it, but yet you had an opportunity to make a perfect remake, pitch perfect, great casting, and you fucked it up by changing the ending and making it PG-13 is all they had to do to fuck it up. Sorry.
Now, what about when they remake the original trilogy?
I think they'll remake the prequel before they remake the original.
I don't think we're going to get any remakes of stuff.
Oh, they're 100% going to remake that stuff. Why wouldn't they? They own it. I mean, why not?
I don't know.
You didn't
Lisa Skywalker.
Mulan.
Lisa Skywalker.
Literally,
that's
they
Disney
have
stuff, though. I think Lucas has certain.
I don't know.
I think they're going to remake them after.
I don't know how much I. There's a possibility of it, but he signed it all over. But I think they just want to get away from it, and that's why they thought they could just, like with Galaxy's Edge, like maybe we just change it enough.
Well, just because he sold Star Wars doesn't mean he doesn't own certain aspects over the original film.
Yeah, he's still going to have his name on it forever. I would say Disney will start thinking about remaking the prequels and original trilogy a few years after George Lucas passes away. They're not going to do it while he's alive.
Because didn't even like Hitchcock and a few other people have stipulations in their wills that certain people, they couldn't do certain things like sequels and remakes of their movies. Kubrick, I think, too, had certain stipulations for so many years that things couldn't be done to his movies and shit like that. I mean,
some of them have negotiated some really, some have always tried to get that sweet contract, which is the same that Tolkien has for his property of Lord of the Rings. Kubrick, I think, has one. Hitchcock had one where he can make sequels, but he can't remake certain ones of his classics until X amount of years.
And that's why Van Sant made it when he did,
yeah.
I think that they believe they can write this all off and then maybe make new magic with a new trilogy, and they're going to be very mistaken.
Well,
I think they're going to go back and they'll go back and remake it after that. Well, we want to make it more, more updated for today's world.
Well, what they have been doing, Yellow Flash, is they've been doing those little cartoons where they've been revisionizing the history of Star Wars.
Oh, I've seen that. Leia's they're like Luke and Han are a bunch of dopes.
They've not been received well.
I got tired of that 20 years ago on shows like Home Improvement, because I never liked that as a kid, because I'm like, oh, that guy's wife's a bitch, and that's the same type of message that I grew up with on a lot of these 90s shows where the men were just absolute incompetent buffoons. I'm tired of hearing that message.
But let's finish. Okay, so let's finish this Kelly Marie Tran thing, so then we can move on to the next points of this stupid CNN article.
And also just like the transition of what it was like. And
Let's
I very
back it
much
up
was
here so
someone
everybody has context. So, yeah.
I feel great now. I've been to therapy.
You went to therapy.
Highly recommend.
Because of the bullying online.
And also just like the transition of what it was like. I very much was someone working a day job, struggling to be an actor, and then suddenly was in Star Wars. I think that sort of transition takes a lot of emotional work, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm in a really good place now. I'm excited for this movie to come out.
Okay, so now the way she answers that, yeah, she does say, yeah, after she's kind of led into the question by the interviewee. And
that's just I heard your question, but I'm going to answer something completely different because
what's funny
I can't
is
answer your question.
I don't know who's interviewing her here, so I apologize, but she brings it up twice. That's the part that bothers me. Is it's not that she brings up once, she has to bring it up twice. So it's almost like they made sure she made that point. I don't know if anybody else got that vibe.
Yeah, I sort of picked up that the interviewer was kind of trying to nail in the same point, and Kelly was trying to be very diligent in not acknowledging it, while at the same time being true about the therapy and the excitement of being in a big budget film.
Exactly.
Tug,
I'd love to see any actual therapists and like,
I was gonna say, Tug, you kind of have a background.
Yeah,
in
I know.
This kind of stuff. What do you think about how she answered this here?
I think we have no idea why she went to therapy. These people, they drug it out of her, and she seemed to be
How does she
gave her some of it? But
how does she feel about them taking her out of the merchandise? Why don't they ask that question?
Well, how does she feel about people bringing up something that is very private like that? Yeah, something bothered me enough that I checked out of social media and I went to get mental health there, treatment for it. Hey, why don't you just keep bringing it up over and over again? She seems to kind of eject from that question pretty fast.
Well, it feels like they're using her to spread that.
They are.
Exactly.
Yeah, to spread that narrative.
That's the same thing with when you looked at the Naomi Ackie stuff. She told Naomi Ackie, grow thicker skin. She didn't take a victim narrative in that. See, that really stuck out to me. If Kelly Marie Tran saw herself as a victim, she would have said, bug out of social media, don't be there. She didn't say go away from social media. She said grow thicker skin. And I mean, that says everything.
Yeah, and these days, an overnight success, whether it be from like a no-name actor to getting a movie like Star Wars with today's social media, is huge. That can weigh on a person a lot. And every actor I know, as soon as they get that big role and it starts doing wonders, like the people that were in This Is Us, a lot of the cast members there, no one ever heard of before, and then they started going to therapy to try and deal with all the pressure of having all these eyes on them all the time because of how popular that show was. And I can totally understand Kelly Marie Tran going to therapy because you have Star Wars, this legacy franchise, and there's a lot of weight on your shoulders for that. And I don't believe at all with regards to the social media bullying that happened that would have been a way, way, way bigger story than what we actually got.
We also know that some of these people thought, some of the cast here rather, thought that this last movie was a huge screw up. They carry the burden of that. The actors did. Now, can you imagine having to carry the weight of what Disney screwed up, what Rian Johnson did, and not only what Rian Johnson did, but then going out and gaslighting fans, because that's all that guy does. He goes out, he pisses people off, and people will take it out on other people. They get pissed off about that. I mean, this stuff was sacrosanct to all of us, and treating us like garbage. Yeah, we're gonna get pissed off about it.
Don't mention Rian Johnson's name too often, or else he'll show up.
What the hell?
So, Ryan.
Go away, Ryan. Fan addicts of film.
Hoax
Tico. Thank you for that, fan addicts of film.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting more time in these interviews than she gets in the
entire
movie.
Yeah, and then his next, the Wham Wham, a millionaire.
I think she's a background character. She's like has a scene where she's like, "Yes, round the troops."
Oh, she is a wasted opportunity character. Her character was supposed to be like an engineer, I think, and they didn't do anything with her at all because I thought she was going to be the Scotty of Star Wars.
The bottom line,
they did nothing
sucks. What do you think about Boyega having to apologize to her, basically?
I'll bend in the knee. He was right the first time. She's weak.
Well, he wasn't. Well, he said he wasn't talking about her. If you listen to that
bullshit.
entire thing, he was calling out the media. Like if you listen to that entire interview, and I did the video where I listened to the entire interview, and I only trimmed out kind of some of his stuttering and stammering. But no, he's saying no. The media, they'll say something, and then you'll know actually that as a fact that's not true. That didn't happen.
It is
because
true,
you're
She's
there.
weak. She's
Mhm.
weak.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like if one little comment is going to be enough to drum you off of social media, that is weak. Like I've gotten actual legit death threats in my inbox. I've gotten stuff where I've been actually concerned, like, okay, what do I need to do legally to protect myself against this crap? I've had articles written about the death threats and crap that I've gotten. Where are any of the articles about her with the screenshots of anything that she's gotten? I mean, there aren't any. This is a day and age of social media. If she has all of these fans, somebody would have documented it.
I'm sure some account with 0 followers probably
Mhm.
sent something to her. It's probably her fucking buddy.
It's probably the guy
that's
who
what Mecca
started
said.
the
Probably
Twitter
Ryan
Yeah,
account.
well,
Johnson.
Mecca tracked it all the
I'll
way
show
back to the
that Kelly
beginning.
Marie Tran.
Yeah, Mecca tracked it all the way back to the beginning, and it was some publicist's Twitter or Instagram account or some shit.
Well, he's not a publicist. His
Or not a
job is
publicist,
getting
but-
like 250,000 Twitter impressions. His job is creating parrot analytics to show these
Social
stuffy
media.
old the stuffy
a
old
social media
investment guys.
He's a social media influencer. That's what he is.
Yeah, that's
can't
his
stand that.
whole job.
That's such a BS title. Social media. Shut up, social media.
No, just somebody
influencer.
who knows how to get a thing trending on social media. Say it in enough places with the right message. And this is I can't remember who did a video. It's probably Yellow Flash or that umbrella guy. Somebody did a video saying, like, if you search enough results, that's going to be what the narrative is, like with the Vic Mignogna stuff. If the first 3 things say that he's a what, then people are just going to assume that that's the case if that's all you're seeing online. And that's what they try and do with all of these things, like this bullied off of social media crap or any of that. And she's not on social media anymore, so you can't exactly ask her.
There's a book that actually talks about trending stuff like that. It's actually about more like setting up narratives, like you talk about with the Vic Mignogna thing. It was called Destroy a Man Now. And it tells you about how to go in, though, and how to trend things online, how to create your own and cultivate your own message.
But wait, that book was just a joke.
No, man, no.
It was just jokes. No, that's the narrative that they said. Oh, we're just joking.
No. That's a the problem is like using that kind of narrative, man, when you have like they list the damage that was done in that stuff, and when you've had 6 people at least commit suicide over things like that, yeah, that's bad stuff, but it tells you how powerful that is. I mean, it tells you how powerful you can this cultivating a narrative. Like I said, you can point what they're trying to do right now. They're talking about the racist fandom. You see certain people that are out in the front that start getting that flack. And, some people, sadly, these people will ruin your life over that. It's amazing. The stuff that they say that Kelly Marie Tran deals with, actual fans deal with because they don't like movies and they're vocal about it.
Exactly.
And we don't have the millions.
Times, yeah.
And we don't have millions of dollars to go to therapy on.
Yeah, like
he said here.
Yeah.
Well,
$1 super chat.
I was telling
I'm a
find me a
millionaire.
million.
She's worth $3 million. Kind of like Brie Larson when
Yeah.
her little white knights come out. It's like, oh, I'm sure she gives a shit about you. She's crying into her fucking millions. Okay.
Well, not only
I like
that,
to
I can
call
prove
them
that
the-
she doesn't.
I like to call them the Brie Larson Defense Task Force.
I could call them stalkers and be done with it because that's
She
what
used
they
to
are.
call them Brie bots. Yeah.
And then they started using that name. I'm like, well, they're not bots. They're just stalkers. They're at this point.
Speaking of bots, let's move on to the next part because we've gone on this part.
Speaking of bots.
Whoops, I didn't mean to make that big.
I think I legit just hate Brie Larson. Something about her face and her mannerisms. I just don't like
The
her.
entitlement,
No,
man.
for real. Like I just think she's cringe incarnate.
That fucking sense of entitlement that she just
Yeah.
oozes
I
every
saw
time.
that video of her running down the stairs playing the password. I wanted to punch my computer screen.
She's just so unlikable. That's the thing. It's her nasty attitude.
how to do my own stunts.
It's like I paused a picture of Gal Gadot smiling. I'm like, there's more charisma in that one picture than the entire movie of Captain Marvel.
Gal Gadot is not a real one.
She had more facial expressions in that trailer than the entire movie.
Baby Yoda's more expressive, and he's a
Brie
fucking
Larson had
puppet.
one. It's just wood.
I can do that statement from Spider-Man. You know, with great power comes less facial expression, something like that.
I can do more cocaine than Gal Gadot in 20
Do you think
minutes.
they gave her a lobotomy?
No, I think they gave her some drugs. I think she got on some stuff, and now, like, half the
Lobotomy?
time you see her on coke, half the time you see her stoned on something. She kind of.
She's not on coke. She would have way more energy if she was on coke.
Yeah,
no, like she's a dead piece of wood.
She ended a relationship right before Captain Marvel was released. A really long one that kind of messed her up.
Oh, don't excuses here.
No,
She's
I'm
an
just serious.
actress.
With that
She should be able to
freaking
rise above it.
No, she was engaged to this guy for like 7 years.
And he wrote a song about me and sang it on Midnight's Edge. It was about cheese.
It's like the whole movie. It's like maybe if we just put Jude Law and Samuel Jackson next to her, no one will notice.
Mecca, can you play the Brie Larson super cut I made?
No.
I don't know if Yellow Flash or seen it.
Well, the good one. Yeah, let me find it. Let me pull it up.
Oh, I got another super chat.
D, good $5 super chat. Good story in a movie makes you think. E.g. the Joker. Lazy writing tells you what to think. Captain Marvel, Charlie's Angels, Dark Fate, etc.
Yep.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You know something? One of the worst examples of, I wouldn't call it lazy writing, but trying to work current year shit into movies was like Spider-Man Homecoming. Because they had to make sure the entire cast looked like the fucking Planeteers. Okay. And then they said, and what Script Doctor was saying was that they tried to make these changes when you saw Flash Thompson. It's as if, like I said, there was a production meeting and they said, does he have to be a football player? Oh, yep. Well, maybe we should change. Maybe we can make him a soccer player. Oh no, I think kids are really, let's make him a DJ. Yeah, football player seems awfully American. We have to make this more relatable to people.
Put him on the debate team. That's really cool.
We did find out later, at least from what we heard, that it may have had more to do with licensing than that. But
but still, though, I mean,
there's
ways around it. Though
DCV Titan sent us $5. Give her a lobotomy. How do you hit a target that small?
But the thing I always say about Flash Thompson is there is no way that I'm going to believe that he's going to beat up Tom Holland, especially when Tom Holland is a full inch taller than he is, and when Ned could just fucking sit on him.
Yeah, they were going for what's this generation's version of a bully these days, as opposed to the traditional football jock type of guy, and it just didn't land for me.
I actually thought they were going to turn around and make him be that way, bullying him because he actually was gay for him. That's what I said.
And you know something? And I don't know if you know something. If you're a rich kid in Queens, you will be the one getting bullied. Hey, where you going, rich boy? Hey, money bags, get your ass over here, Richie Rich. I'm talking to you.
All right, you want me to play this?
Yes. Not really, but yes.
When I was prepping for the film, I asked Eva how she keeps going in the face of so much working against her, and she said, if all I can do is bring a little hope to someone, that's enough.
Fuck hope. Fuck hope.
This kind of hope is an antidote to loneliness. This kind of hope is an elixir to stagnation.
Hey, which one of you cute little cupcakes wants to come home and cook me a nice meal and give me a blowjob? Blowjob!
Like, that's the face that she makes when she gives a blowjob.
Action of even the harshest realities to be interrogated.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Eva reminded me to first look closely at my forever community, myself, and observe where my biases lay.
Think of how stupid the average person is, and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
I just see people.
It doesn't take you very long to spot one of them, does it? Take you about 8 seconds.
I don't have negative energies. I have loving energies.
That's her sex face.
Some guy, you say, this guy is fucking stupid.
And from there, look at what's in a 1 foot radius to you. Your neighbors, your friends, your table mates here. How well do you know them?
Then
I fucking hate her so much.
Stupid. You're full of shit.
and I just played people. I didn't play Captain Marvel because I wanted to be.
That's the face she makes when she has an orgasm right there.
That doesn't take very long to spot either, does it? Take you about the same amount of time.
No, it won't be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Well, you could listen to some guy and say, well, he's fairly intelligent. He's full of shit.
How deep are you getting, and can you get closer?
Stop telling me the same shit over and over again. Why don't you guys get kidnapped? Have some new shit appetite.
And that was a big platform to play a person.
Get out of here. Go on. I don't believe it. You don't say. Really? Get out of here. Go on. I don't believe it. You don't say. Get out of here.
To give attention to what is near you is to become an expert on your environment.
Then there are some people, they're not stupid, they're not full of shit, they're fucking nuts! All three! Stupid, full of shit, and fucking nuts!
And who doesn't want to be an expert on something?
It ain't that you talk too much, you just talk too much soon as we get in the fucking door!
Am I pretty enough to be sexually harassed? Get out of my space!
Hey! Let me get my other foot in the fucking door! Let me get something to eat! Let me get something to drink! Let me take a shit! Go in the fucking kitchen and give me my big piece of chicken!
Thanks for watching.
I can't believe someone stayed with her for 7 years.
Yeah, musician.
I
I'd be ready to kill
got a
myself.
conspiracy theory on her. So
real.
you know, she brings up in a million interviews. She's
Well,
done
imagine like you're like looking, you're like, you know, having sex, you know, you're with her for 7 years. So I assume they tried to, and like that, like big, like eyes popping out face is what's staring back at you.
I think
7 years of that.
I think people are propping her up to be Indiana Jones. I think they've been shopping that idea. If you look like back in February, you know, the media picked up on her talking about when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be Indy. And now she started shopping that again a couple of months ago. I'm telling you, if it happens a third time, they're trying to shop the idea that they want to play Indiana Jones.
Yeah, her and playing Ahsoka also. She's trying to get into Star Wars. She's trying to get into Indiana Jones also.
God, can you imagine? That's horrible.
I'm gonna commit suicide if I have to watch that.
No, that way she wins.
That way she wins.
No, I would win because I would have to never think about it again.
Man.
Oh, that's
I'd
right.
never
She
have
was
to think about it again.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. She went off with Bear Grylls or something, and she's like,
yeah.
"I want to be Indiana Jones as a kid. This is my training, or this is my audition." Oh, shut up!
God, she kept trying to emote through that too. It was very cringy.
Well, then she at least realizes to herself, she's like, "Oh, does that make me a brat? Oh my god! This is the first smart thing you've ever said in your life. Oh my god! Yes, you're a brat. She's just a grown up little bratty girl. Is all she is." She throws temper tantrums. She whines. She's like, "Oh, is that a personal attack? Thank you very much." She's just a whiny little child.
She seems like she comes from money and entitlement. I mean, a lot of people just ooze that, you know?
She's
yeah, she does.
She's homeschooled. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She does come from money and entitlement. Her parents are chiropractors.
Not socialized at all.
I believe that.
Yeah,
That
homeschooled,
makes
not
sense.
socialized, didn't hang around with other kids before, so she has no idea what's appropriate and what's not. The whole thing about her and the TSA agent, I mean, she got asked for her number, and I'm like, all you had to say, all you got to say is, listen, I'm very flattered, but you know, I have a boyfriend.
She can be like Hermione. I'm in a relationship with myself. Wait,
Tom, is that you? The Ballad of Brie Larson?
I can't breathe without Brie. Stinky cheese.
The Ballad of Brie Larson.
That's one thing Rob and I didn't do. We didn't write a song about her when he was out here.
Stinky cheese. Why did you leave me? Oh, Brie. Oh, Brie, I can't breathe without Brie. Steak and cheese. Oh, I miss you, Brie. Anyway.
The Ballad of Brie Larson, everyone.
Why can't you be Captain Marvel for me?
Could you imagine her being like she walks into the bedroom with Captain Marvel outfit on? It's like, yeah, could you just take that off, please?
No, keep it on.
Yeah, go get a bag too.
Keep
Get a
it
couple
on,
of them.
please.
Oh,
and it's not that she's a bad looking woman. It's that she's just so
personality hurts her.
It's the personality that pushes it over the
I imagine
edge,
her
totally.
pillow talk is a lecture.
Now we're gonna have sex, but like I don't want you to ogle me.
She's like whispering in your ear, 1 in 4 white guys. It's like, oh.
No, she's the type of girl who constantly needs to be asked if it's still consensual.
You're gonna have to fill out forms the whole time.
You gotta make her sign a love contract.
Hold on, if you're gonna hit it from the back, here.
I'm sorry, script doctor's just like I can't say a word. He's been quiet for like the last 20 minutes.
You're right there. I don't even think about those things when it comes to Brie Larson. So
it's all right. We it's more so. It's not so. I think more of the hate. I mean, at least for Mecca and I can't speak for everybody else, but I think more so just comes out of the fact that we can't even say a single word about her without, and Rob too, obviously, without getting like 20 fucking tweets about it and a bunch of freaking comments about every video. It's like, you make 40 Brie Larson videos. It's like, I haven't made 40 videos in a month.
I know. Oh, I'll give him screenshots. I'll argue with him exactly why they're wrong and like why out of my last 65 videos, only 4 of them had Brie Larson.
Why waste your time though? I just mute them.
Because
you give them what they want if you argue with them. That's the defense task force.
The problem that I have is that they are the ones who 9 times out of 10 they're these article writers anyway with like.
But they're going to write it anyway.
Accounts.
Yeah, I know. Write it anyway. They're not going to take any of the truth that you're saying anyway. So what is?
I know. Well, at least if people see it on their Twitter feed, like if I'm responding with "Here's the evidence of why you're wrong," you know, at least I feel like there's some record of it out there. That I'm just like letting them ruin my life for nothing. But I don't know.
Oh, stinky cheese!
I like being right sometimes.
My internet's so bad I can't afford to be right. So,
Rob, you're already signed in. You're signed in.
Oh, that brings me back.
Right? Oh, somebody threw me some shekels.
Oh, okay, cool.
DCB Titan, Canadian, $5.
Brie is proof that the speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. She looks bright and beautiful. Then she opens her mouth.
Pretty much. That's about it.
See, I don't think she's beautiful. There's something weird with her default face. Like
she used to be really cute, like back in the 21 Jump Street era and before that.
Well, okay, was the 21 Jump Street era before the chin job or after the chin job? Because I knew the nose job was early on.
Because she was like she wasn't like
she kind of has a masculine jawline.
Well, when she was in 21 Jump Street, she wasn't like bone skinny. She was like she actually had some meat on her, so she looked normal, and she was an attractive woman at that time. And then she like lost all that weight and got the cocaine nose job and the chin job and the boob job and whatever else she did allegedly.
See, I think she got the chin job to try to make a play for Batman.
You might as well, man.
Yeah, wait and see. She got that man jaw going on, man.
Eat a dinner, Mattress Wayne.
If you're torturing people with other things, you should torture them.
I like dinner.
Why can't I play Batman?
I'm Batman. Brie Larson couldn't do as much coke as I do.
We're going to have Gotham.
I like Gotham. It's really good, especially the honey one.
Did you guys see that the AI that allegedly wrote a Batman script?
Oh yeah, I remember someone subjected a bot to a whole bunch of Batman scripts.
Give birth to Robin.
And we acted it out.
But this Batman comes from shenanigans, which sadly is not happening tonight because Mary isn't feeling well. So hopefully she feels better soon.
Oh,
yeah.
I was thinking of throwing a game night on or something.
There you go. Maybe Batman will show up. She's like, yay.
Tom was a really good, like Christian Bale Batman, but I kind of do. I tend to do.
Well, you do the more serious, the better.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Kevin Conroy. See, my Batman is just goofy though.
Kevin
That's the
Conroy
thing.
Batman.
Yeah, he does a good Kevin Conroy.
Yes. Alfred, give birth to Robin.
Wow, look at the difference.
Chin reduction.
Kind of look like
here,
Melissa
nose
Benoist a little on the left.
She's had her cheeks tucked. She's had her eyes tucked. She's definitely
probably had the lift.
It's because she went into the plastic surgeon. She goes, "Will you please give me resting bitch face?"
Did they take her soul with the surgery too?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if
look
she
at
ever
her on
had
the
one.
left. Look how lively and happy she is, and on the right, she's just like dead inside. I swear she's like a husk of human.
Well, if you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person, you can't really be too happy about it.
Because I'm woke now.
Well, I mean, how happy of a person can she be to have all these plastic surgeries anyway? I mean, yeah, I get it, it's Hollywood, but if her body being, rail thin wasn't enough to be the ideal body type for Hollywood, and I'm not body shaming, it's just a fact. Rail thin is the ideal body type for, the outfits that they're advertising to the cosplay people who are the only fans of these movies.
It looked like a Pez dispenser, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I don't.
It's scary because it almost doesn't look like the same person.
It's not even the same person, but this is clearly because we know it's her because she has her teen pop career that is terrible. So, I don't I don't think she had a soul then because she wouldn't be making the music she was making if she did.
Rosetta sends $2 and said, "If you do game night, Micah, she'll be there."
All right, let me see if I can set one up. I think I still have some wine too. I might do it. I got some unboxing stuff. Someone sent me a comic, it looks like. So I gotta see what that is.
I sent you something.
I know you did, but somebody sent me like it looks like a real somebody's comic.
Well, if they don't like you or not if they sent you like Immortal Hulk or something.
Well, no, I looked up the company and it's like one that like people have been using. Sure.
Well, to finish off this article, of course, it always leads to Russian bots. Now, of course, I'm not going to deny there is a such thing where you have like Russian troll farms and all these places all over. They're not just in Russia where you pay people to do stupid shit like this. But really, to sit here and blame Russian bots
I have a video on that. I made a video on that last year. It was back when the last Kelly Marie Tran thing was happening, and we found the bottom of the whole. Russian bots were responsible for The Last Jedi. Actually, no. It was who was it who broke it down? I can't remember exactly who.
I remember that because you know what? One of the guys that they quoted was a Patreon member of mine. It's a Russian bot. This dude was giving me like $1 a month. And I talked to him and it said he was a Russian bot.
Yeah, and a few of them were like people, if they misspell things was their criteria. If they post in the middle of the night. Guess what? I'm up till like 3 a.m. most nights. I'm a night owl. I roll out of bed at 11 a.m. So
Umbrella Guy had to duck out. So we just want to say thank you so much for him stopping by. Appreciate his time. So
but I was about to say though, did it occur to people that we have these things called cell phones that let you post on the internet at any time of day or night?
Like in bed or from a 2 a.m. dump, I guess.
Toilet. I use mine on the toilet all the time. I get so much work done on the toilet. It's amazing.
See, I know I have an easier time believing it's somebody who looks like Cartman shitting into a bag while playing World of Warcraft than it's a bot. Then somebody took the effort to make a bot account.
Damn it, now you pissed me off.
No one asked Ryan Johnson in here. We're not talking about you yet. We kind of are. Where's my Ryan Johnson thwacker?
You got your Ryan Johnson thwacker?
God. Here he is.
We all know how he feels about Baby Yoda.
I hate that stupid puppet.
Oh, you're on my list. I put somebody else on my list because they hated Baby Yoda. It was one of those Ghostbusters, anti-Ghostbusters people or something.
You're just mad, Cartman, because you're not going to get your trilogy.
Time for an ass kicking.
I think he is going to get his trilogy.
I think they will despite us. Because now they have to bend to all the little Raylos who might lose them money.
I think if Kathleen Kennedy's still around, he's not going anywhere. If they replace her, they won't give him the trilogy. But if she stays in power, he'll 100% get it.
Here's the thing, Yellow Flash. She's there still, but more of a peripheral. because
I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if I
Bob
buy
Iger
that.
flat out said, what was it, Rob? He couldn't fire her because of the optics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he couldn't fire her because she's a female. You got Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau doing The Mandalorian. Okay. These are the guys, and you also have the announcement that Kevin Feige is going to be doing something Star Wars. They announced that they're going to announce whoever's doing this next trilogy that's in the pipeline for 2021 or 2022 through
2022.
It's going to be Ryan Johnson, man. I'm telling you.
If it is, then I'll say you were right, Yellow Flash. I will. But I say right now, watch. It's not going to be Ryan Johnson's, and that is going to pretty much mark the death nail in his trilogy. Because if it's not him making that trilogy, his movies ain't happening.
If they re-up, well, we put it like this: if they re-up Kathleen Kennedy, I 100% guarantee it'll be Ryan Johnson.
No,
I don't think she is, because she's already talking about like what she's going to do beyond her contract at the end of this 3 years, which comes up in less than a year and a half, I think it is.
No, I can tell you what's probably going to happen. They're going to announce that they're going to do a new movie for 2022, but Ryan Johnson's going to say he's not finished the script yet because he's been working on another project, and most likely Jon Favreau will be the front runner for directing. And
that's what I was thinking. It'll be Filoni, Favreau.
He'll make excuses to save face.
Well, and that's what I was saying all along. That's why it makes sense why they've been throwing him under the bus. And you've got all these hit pieces now that are turning on Star Wars.
Wait till he gets a Star Wars trilogy. Oh, another white male.
Well, you could say the same damn thing about Ryan Johnson, so they can't say shit.
Yeah, but he's woke as shit.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Fuck that. He's on the screen now, but he can kiss my ass.
Gerbil Johnson.
Look at that round-headed fucker.
Like my shiny metal ass.
And I think that they're doing all this and throwing him under the bus so they can basically set us up for when he isn't announced to be a part of that trilogy and Feige's going to be producing it along with working on it with Favreau and Filoni and whoever else, that it's not going to be Ryan Johnson. And then they'll be like, oh, you know, obviously that's the end of that. And then 2-3 years down the line, I said this, Ryan's going to be like, I just decided I didn't want to work on Star Wars. I learned from working on Knives Out that I just wasn't made for Star Wars movies and that kind of thing. And I'm so glad, because otherwise, if The Last Jedi would have worked out the way that everybody wanted it to, then I wouldn't be able to make movies like Knives Out.
I didn't want to be locked into an existing universe, you know. Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, my pitch was it's in another galaxy.
Which was in another galaxy, you know. I thought, what makes Star Wars? And can we get rid of all the stuff that makes Star Wars, so that nobody would like it? Are we subverting everybody's expectations that way? Kick you in the nuts.
So, shut up, Ryan.
Let me slack you, Ryan. Ryan, don't make me
I put him back in the box.
Okay.
All right, folks. What do you say we wrap this up? We've had a good 90-minute show here. We've had the script doctor with us. We've had Yellow Flash. We've had Tug. I don't think we can do much better than that.
Oh, I don't drink anymore.
No one asked you, Roger.
Let you.
All right.
Ryan Johnson married.
He's got like a longtime partner.
Partner? I knew.
I don't know if it's a man or a woman.
It's a man.
He's so progressive, isn't he?
I saw him in an interview and he had his legs crossed like so hard. Like, no way. Not that I have any problem with it. I just like
I don't know. I can't cross my legs.
He's gay.
You got to ask what woman.
I mean, I put a speech bubble on him on the thumbnail. I was like, I ain't going anywhere, honey.
I've got what they call gaydar.
Maybe him and Paul Feig are good buds.
He's the original shipper for Poe and Finn.
Probably was.
Yeah.
Oh God! So what do you guys think of that situation? Now, if we want to talk a little bit of leaks real quick before we go, the whole Rey kisses.
I hate it.
Kylo.
I hate shippers. Shippers are scum
in the movie.
Oh, God, was this is Twilight? What's going on?
It is Twilight. It is literally Twilight.
Yeah, it is Twilight.
I understand you, Ray.
Force relationships don't work.
Well,
Script doctor, is Twilight still a thing in Hollywood? Do they still think this young A thing is running, is going, is still relevant? What's going on?
Well, young adult stuff, yeah, is always going to be relevant, but the Twilight specifically, no, nobody's been talking about it for years.
Maybe he'll sparkle when he gives his life force to her.
Yeah, you got to remember, Rob, that Twilight was just whatever the thing was at the time. There's always something there since.
Yeah, Twilight, Maze Runner, Hunger Games.
Ever since the 1950s when they realized, oh shit, teenagers got money. Let's take it.
A doe-eyed girl who fights to save her people in a dystopian future.
See, I've only seen one Twilight movie. It was the second one, and I passed out.
Doesn't it sound a lot like Ray?
They were like running through the woods the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. Great.
The first time I've ever passed out in a movie was whatever the second Twilight was.
I don't know. I watched a few minutes of one, and I'm just like, how do the fans of this put up with this? And
they fall asleep like I did. They can get right through it.
And they're like, what do you mean? You don't like it? That's all. No, I'm like, if I had something that I loved and they did this to whatever it was I loved, I'd be pissed. This looks like third-rate bullshit.
No, it's supposed to, because you got your little self-insert character, and the only way
I'm talking like the effects and the way it's shot and everything, and it's like, this is cheap ass shit. They make all kinds of money, and they spent $1.05 making this movie.
Yeah,
it's because they ran around the woods the whole movie.
Exactly, with really bad CGI.
You ever hear the
it's even funnier when they sync up the Benny Hill song to it? It's great.
Did you ever hear the joke that Twilight is like soccer? He goes, people run around for 2 hours, nobody scores, and millions of fans around the world say you just don't understand.
Nobody's scoring.
That's a very good analogy.
Well, and as I said, it's Twilight's just whatever this week's new shiny thing is. It's we've been a couple leagues beyond that now. So who knows what the next YA thing is going to be, and who gives a shit about that? I'm just more worried about them creeping into my Star Wars and my
It was
Ghostbusters.
supposed to be Ender's Game. Ender's Game was supposed to be the next YA, and that
it
did not
was.
work.
They tried to make Valerian YA.
Oh,
yeah, that was the problem with it. Oh God, that was so horribly miscast. You've got this guy who's supposed to be like a Bruce Campbell Han Solo, and he looks like he's 15 years old, running around like, and he's had one relationship after the next.
You get Stewie from Family Guy to play him.
He's 12 years old. He has never been laid in his fucking life. He is not the greatest womanizer in the goddamn galaxy.
What's his name? I don't know. He just reminds me of Stewie from Family Guy.
Dane DeHaan.
Dane
DeHaan, yeah. I'm Valerian, and I'm gonna come kill you, you dirty bastard.
Sounds like your Burl Ives.
Yeah, it's my Burl Ives is much better. It is the time of the season for Burl Ives, isn't it?
Oh, fuck Christmas. Should I wear a Christmas dress or not? I don't know. I can wear it tomorrow too.
Oh, hello.
I spent enough goddamn fucking money on it, getting all the lights on it.
You've never heard the legend of Midnight's
Oh,
Edge?
yeah,
Well, pull up a ice block and I'll tell you.
And a jingle.
About the legend of what?
Yellow Flash. Never heard the legend of Yellow Flash?
That's too scary. Can't tell that. That'll scare the kids. Oh, let me know when it's over. He had an issue. His issue was Brie Larson. This woman. She ruined his life. It was horrible.
Oh, God.
Now Christmas. That's a magical thing.
Pull up an ice block. That's great. Love that.
Pull up an
I don't
ice
think
block.
Brie
and I'll tell
Larson
you.
celebrates Christmas.
No, that's because she's the devil. She has no heart. Black
Brie Larson
heart.
celebrates herself. That's
What's the one at the end of the month?
Kwanzaa?
Yeah, I bet you she celebrates that.
Just cuz or what?
Yeah, just cuz.
It's because she's not a racist. That's why.
Where I come from,
The
that's
same-
called cultural appropriation.
It's the same reason why she's in where she loves Samuel L. Jackson is in Just Mercy and
You ever
loves to hang around people like Lashana Lynch too.
You ever
It's to
notice
prove she's not a racist.
How do you change your picture like that?
It looks just like you, Tom.
It does. It does kind of look like me. But I don't wear a hat like this. But I would. I'd think about it. It's kind of classy.
You got a bowler hat, yeah. I was about to say, do you ever notice that the people who scream for diversity the loudest are always blonde-haired white women?
Because
That's because nobody listens to them because all they do is just see. I don't want to listen to her. She's a white woman.
Aren't blondes supposed to be the fun ones? That's what I heard.
Not
Nah,
anymore. they're
redheads.
No, that's the redheads.
Blondes are dumb.
You haven't heard about the fun that redheads are? Well, pull up an ice block and I'll tell you. Pull out a $20 bill in a strip club where there's a redhead. You'll have some fun.
That's what we need to do. We need to do a group strip club night. We didn't get to do that when we were all out.
Wow, chicken, wow, wow. Yeah.
I keep thinking, now I keep thinking of the Julie Brown song, Because I'm a Blonde. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I got that soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Earth Girls Are Easy, yeah.
Yep.
I had her actual album that was on. Trapped
Oh
in
yeah,
the Body of
yeah.
a
She
White
used to
Girl.
do it. Yeah. I mean, she produced the soundtrack too. I think.
Yeah.
She's got like 5 songs on it. I think. It's a musical for those who aren't aware of what it is, but yeah. With Jim Carrey, Matt Damon, Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, and Julie Brown. Yeah.
I haven't seen that in like 20
Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube? Let me see.
No, sadly, there is not a real decent version. You can buy it digitally, or you can get the old crappy DVD that's like a Laserdisc rip. But like, it's never been available in like its original aspect ratio or a real decent version. I don't know what the problem with it is, to be honest with you. I own the digital version, but it's like cropped off.
I'm still looking. I'm.
That was one growing up that I just, when I was a kid, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I saw it a couple of times when I was a kid. Probably last time.
And coming off of shit like Little Shop of Horrors and stuff, it was kind of like the graduation ground between Little Shop of Horrors and Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I know you don't like that for other reasons, Mecca, but you know what I mean, as far as like, you know, moving through musicals that weren't Mary Poppins and stuff like that.
I don't remember Earth Girls Are Easy having more than just the one musical number, though.
Oh, no, there's a whole musical. Even Gina Davis has her musical part, and yeah, it's like a whole musical.
All right, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, because I only remember the one song.
No, there's the I'm a Blonde song.
Yeah.
Then she does the one at the beach, and then she does the Gina Davis has a song, and oh yeah.
Oh, Strange Brew is on YouTube.
Fuck yes!
Oh,
Strange
we gotta
Brew.
watch party.
It's not free though. It's
Yeah, be
I got the
careful.
Blu-ray.
Oh, you guys would do it where you don't show the.
Oh yeah, we
right?
just talk over it. But now we might do the Star Wars Christmas special because I may or may not have a channel that's been on for years and has never been copy struck.
That's just because they don't know about it.
That's because George Lucas doesn't want to admit that it exists.
Didn't he try to destroy it?
Supposedly.
He's made a threat saying that if he ever saw it, he would destroy it.
That's why RLM did that one video. Did you ever see that, Rob? Oh, my dog's barking. I gotta go let her in. It was on RLM. He had Rich dress up as George Lucas, and he was at some Comic-Con, and he buys every single copy of the Star Wars Christmas special and breaks it right in front of him. It's hilarious. So yeah, let's wrap this up, Rob. We want to thank Script Doctor. We want to thank Flash. We want to thank or Yellow Flash, sorry.
That umbrella guy, yeah.
We want to thank that umbrella guy for stopping in for a little bit. And of course, as always, Mecca for joining us here on Midnight's Edge After Dark. And you guys out there in the chat, if it wasn't for you, we couldn't do this at all, right, Rob?
That's right. That is right. And they better join us or else. That's why. So Script Doctor, tell them about yourself, where you can find you.
I am the Script Doctor. I do reviews and analyses of television shows and movies throughout Hollywood and the ages, and even eventually we'll be doing some reviews of some scripts that are unproduced. And you can find me by searching for me on Twitter at the Script Doctor PhD, which has a link to my channel. Author Stephen Walton has put my channel in the chat, so please subscribe to me. Thank you very much, Mr. Walton. And yeah, that's basically it.
Mm-hmm. Yellow Flash, I know you need no introduction, but still tell people where they can find you.
You can find me online.
Of course, check out that umbrella guy. Rob, you're online. Mecca, tell them about yourself.
Well, I'm an Aquarius.
And you make cookies.
And I make cookies.
For
And I like presents.
She does, and she has a P.O. box just like us.
The age of Aquarius is coming, I hear.
Have we gotten anything in the P.O. box?
I got to go look. I'll look tomorrow.
I had a P.O. box once, and then they were trying to court order it, so I canceled it.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, I had Mars Girl trying
that
to
whole.
talk
Yeah,
me.
I was just gonna say. Yeah,
Mars Girl. She doesn't realize she's been aborted. I'm tired of her.
Oh, breathe. I can't breathe.
Thought you were gonna start off with
Oh, breathe.
Oh, and I like coin pusher
Baby,
videos and
go
claw
say
machines.
hi to Mars, girl. Oh no.
Give her some credit though. She did raise about $5,000 to travel around to cons and buy Steam games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did get the couple thousand to go to the Star Trek Las Vegas, but I
Yeah,
actually
but she
covered
did
it.
she did it under the pretense that she was going to get legal representation to take me to court.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
She literally said it was. I'm going to Star Trek Con.
Yeah, I
We're
literally
different.
said it's going to cover the convention.
You gotta get like if you're gonna do another convention, you gotta get yourself outfitted with like a mobile studio, Mecca. You know that?
I know. That's what I'm gonna have to figure out something for Japan. I'll probably just bring my laptop and get
You
like
have
a
to get
snowball or something. Eventually.
I think I'm learning Japanese.
I want to go to Japan.
Me too. Me too, so bad. That's like the big one because I'm there. I'm watching all my shows again. I'm like rewatching my Ninja Warriors and my Yaki no Sky, and I'm like, I want to go. I'm never going. Oh well. Eventually. I'll crowdfund it just to piss off the people who are like, oh, you just e-bag. It's fine. I'll crowdfund a trip to Japan, and I'll be very honest about it. It's to piss off the people who e-bag and lie about what they're e-bagging for. And I'll probably get funded in a day.
All right. Well, we want to let these fine folks get out of here because I'm sure they have lives unlike us.
Everybody, we might be. I don't know. Are we going to be doing the Jackbox or?
We might,
sure,
since we
I'll
have no
set it up.
shenanigans. That's up to Mecca. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll set it up for
So keep an eye out for maybe that. We'll hop over there and have some fun.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Patreon, Subscribestar, PayPal if you want to support the show. We have a P.O. Box. Check the description. Everybody, again, thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
I'm Krispy Kreme McDonald's. Energy-wise,
Stingy
I like
cheese.
much, and I cannot lie.